Girl, I got tea for you. So you remember the passport bros, right? And remember how they were like, oh, they're gonna go to third world countries because the women in third world countries don't like money, are more respectful, and all of that. Da 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 da. Well, girl, they went to these third world countries, and they did not only find out that not only were the women in third world countries playing chess, they were at it. Like, I'm talking, they were pros because they went there and they like hired women to come to their hotel room, and guess what, honey, they went to sleep and woke up and had nothing. I'm talking, all of their money, all of their passports and everything, the women had taken it and ran. Some of the women already had organized with some of the gangs or their boyfriends or whatever, and when they said what hotel or what Airbnb they were in, their boyfriends came and robbed the life out of them.
We did a series of Passport Bros videos on this channel, if you remember, for those that subscribed some months ago. These are mostly men that are getting married in these countries. These are guys with businesses online. Some they have retired, so are able to take care of those families that they start in these countries. So what she's saying here, maybe she's talking about the tourists, like the guys that are just touring these countries. They are curious about these countries and they don't actually plan to settle there, and maybe they get to involve themselves in one or two things there. Maybe they hook up with some women there. Those are the ones that are even being reported like, oh, this happened to him. They are not actually the passport bros.
Passport bros. They're allegedly getting passports and traveling to different countries to find mates, women to marry.
And so they come on the internet crying because they didn't have no passport and they didn't have no money and they didn't know where to go spend the night. So anyway, what is the point of this video? The point of this video is, okay, if you see a man that wants to go, let him go to wherever he wants to go. If they always think the grass is greener on the other side, let them go to the grass that is greener on the other side until they realize that it's not grass, it's artificial spikes. Okay?
Who hates you? How did you get all these facts? Sister, you're too pretty to be so bitter.
One of the great things about being single in your 30s is that you attract both the toy boys and the divorced dads. And I'm here for it.
You've seen this lady, she's single here. The reason she's single because passport bros left. And the other men are going their own way. So now she has no choice. She can't date any of her peers. She has to date a 47-year-old or a 27-year-old. Somebody that's younger than her. And the guys that are younger than her, they are not even looking to marry. They know that she's old. She's hit the wall, but she's just, they want to have fun with her.
In the last week, I was asked out by a 27-year-old, and then I was asked out by a 47-year-old. In both instances, I said yes, I would be delighted. And in both instances, neither have followed up to actually make it happen. So I guess the lesson is inability to commit to anything. It exists in men at any age.
Maybe they realize it was not worth it. It was not worth their money and time for them to take you out because you come up with all these standards, places where you can't go and where you can, all that. So, man, the 27-year-old better keeps his money and and the 47-year-old probably knows the kind of woman you are. So it's like, no, I've done this before and I'm not gonna do it again.
They're cute, but they're $15.
My ex used to have those.
The level of genius that this man has come up with a way to keep his girlfriend from spending money at a store is unmatched. Hats off to you, sir. Bravo.
Oh, some got it. Okay.
I was gonna get my drink.
Oh, do you need help?
I'm an independent woman.
She's tackling you in there.
Skip the same energy when you have a flat tire or anything that requires a man.
I'm working on it. I hope soon. Why should I get a husband?
You need.
I think I'm doing pretty good without a husband.
Most of the sons or most of the boys can never, if there's something that they don't like as stepfathers, they don't like stepfathers most of the times because they feel like that man is taking their mother away from them. So for the child to start saying, you need a man, I mean, she's noticed that you are in a bad place. And maybe a man is what will cheer you up.
Nothing has pissed me off more than girls that do good men dirty. I don't think anything would irritate me more. I know girls in the comments are gonna be like, what about the men that do good girls dirty? No. We're gonna take a break from that real quick. The reason why it pisses me off so much is women are more forgiving and they'll get done dirty multiple times, but a good man will not get done dirty twice. There was this man that I loved so much, I would have done anything for him. But this girl did him so dirty, and I know you're probably watching my page. Thank you for that. She did him so dirty, and I'm not talking about just regular done dirty. I'm talking in the worst possible way, dogged this man out, okay? Just think about that. Because a lot of people don't think that women could do really sus, horrendous things, but they will, okay? She did him so dirty that you could just tell this man is not gonna recover. It's going to take so much time for him to recover from that. I know women in the comments are going to be like, boo-hoo, they do it to us all the time and they need to go to therapy. Listen, it's just so different for men because if they're vulnerable once and they get done dirty, they will not be vulnerable again. And it will take them so much. Like, they need to go to God and they need to go to Jesus and pray about it at that point. But a lot of them don't, okay? They're just so traumatized. And it pisses me off because there's not that many good men out here. And then once there is, it takes one girl to destroy him. It takes a lot for me to call a man good, but I know so many of them, and the stories they tell me about just pouring out their soul to a woman and she just crushes him and just, cheats on him, lights his house on fire, spins the block, goes crazy, tries to fight his mom and his sister, like the most horrible things you can hear, I've heard, and it just pisses me off. I'm sorry, I know I'm ranting, but please, us as women, we need to stop that. If we want men to actually be good to us, we need to be good to them. Like, it's a mere effect. So please, instead of playing and using a good man, go and use the dogs, okay? Go and use the men that actually suck.
She seemed to have bits of information, and I blame it to the current boyfriend. Looks like dude has been talking too much about himself or about men in general. Oh, let's check the comment section. You don't know ruthless until it comes from a woman you love. Delatable. Some girl actually bragged about ghosting me on IG only to try and come back around. Now I'm dating a friend.
I know we've all seen a joke about podcast equipment being dropped off in the black community the same way crack was in the 80s, right? Now, I know it's a joke, but hear me out. Why does it seem like society is hell-bent on keeping men and women separated from each other and at each other's necks? Because we all know that these relationship hypotheticals and stupid podcast questions are deteriorating and detrimental and dysfunctional to our society, right? But for some strange reason, we can't stop engaging. We can say that this content doesn't have an effect in the real world, but if that was the case, then why do these advertising companies spend millions of dollars to show us their product for 15 seconds? Doesn't matter how strong-minded you are influenced by what you see and what you hear. There are so many people that have been hurt, tried, and tested, and they say they'd rather do this alone because it's too hard to try to get it right with the opposite sex. I want to be clear that doing it alone is not working. In the United States, men unaliving themselves is at an all-time high, and it's increasing the older men get, so it's detrimental for men. And women, we're seeing a rise in alcoholism, which is incredibly detrimental to our health because we have more body fat than men do. And if that wasn't enough, the children are suffering the consequences of not having the resources for what they need in life. Having single people in multiple different households instead of a family under one roof is a lot more lucrative and
Who's to blame? Who's to blame for the single mom's couch, like for the single mother's couch? Who's to blame? Are you going to say it's men or it's women? Let's go back to the 1950s, 40s, 60s, 70s, 80s. If you look back, were there so many single moms those times? I bet no. Not. So who's to blame? Is it the men? Because men have always been the same. Men don't change. They've always been the same. Men don't change. They've always been the same. The only change maybe you're seeing in men is simple. Maybe because they're being raised by the same single moms. Maybe men becoming weak, while mostly some of them don't have a father figure, don't have a man to look up to. So they are all experimenting on what it is to be a man. So you're a man with the emotions that of a woman. Why? Because you are raised by a woman. You had no father to talk to your son. This is handled like this. Son, this is like this growing up. So are you going to continue blaming men?
Profitable for the powers that be. Children do better in school and are far less likely to go to prison when the father's in the household. There's a balance between the masculine and the feminine energy. Statistically speaking, we need each other. Like, not just saying that because it sounds nice, but it is the truth. We need each other. All I'm saying is be mindful of what you hear and see, and don't let it affect how you view things. Because there's still a lot of people in this world, myself included, that want something real with a real one.
Guys, thanks for watching and subscribe to the channel.